In a previous video, I already told you, if you want to increase your English fluency, you have to step away from conventional and step into conversational. Now, what does that mean? Conventional means things we already had like 20 years ago to learn English, which are very, very formal in nature. Like, for example, the traditional books, the TV news channels, or the newspaper and the newspaper articles. They were stylized and written to impress. It did not reflect the vocabulary or the kind of sentences we need to speak in our everyday lives. So here, I'm going to give you suggestions for 5 different TV shows that you can watch to increase your fluency. But the bonus thing about this is that I'm going to suggest you shows that has at least one Indian character to represent a person who is speaking English as a second language. And this is going to be totally fun. You might want to subscribe to this channel. My name is Rai. I'm a former media presenter and director. And out here, I break down things that help us improve our personal brand, our own winning persona. So I hope you subscribed. And now, getting back to the topic, here are 5 TV shows you can watch to not only increase your English fluency and get entertained, but also relate to a character who is also struggling to speak English or have some kind of Indian connection. Number 1, Office. Now, this TV series has 2 versions, the UK version and the US version. I'm going to recommend the US version starring Mindy Kaling because it is the more recent version. Not only that, Mindy Kaling goes on to have her own show called The Mindy Project, which is also a very entertaining sitcom, and she then goes on to produce more shows like Never Have I Ever. So once you start watching Office, you automatically have 2 more shows to watch. Second is Outsourced. This is a show about an American company that has an Indian call center. How relatable is that? Which means you get to see a plethora of cultural exchanges and lots of communication and miscommunication, and you get to see yourself in like sort of a mirror and see how others perceive you because of your cultural difference. And that goes both ways. Number 3 is Quantico by Priyanka Chopra. I've actually met Priyanka Chopra very early on in my career and her career. She was just starting out, she has won the Miss Universe title, and then she was touring promotional tours because of her first film, Andaz. And that's when I used to work in radio and I happened to interview her. I actually even have a photo with her, but I cannot show that to you. I don't actually have a word for it. But I remember her being extremely professional, having an awesome figure, and having a great voice, a wonderful speaking voice, a wonderful singing voice. And she talks so smoothly. She does that even today, but her accent has changed a lot. She now has what I call a transitional accent, which is neither completely Indian nor completely American, but yay to her for normalizing transitional accent. Every time I see her videos, I see people commenting, what is that accent? What is that accent? That is neither here nor there. That is called a transitional accent. And many people who live in different countries throughout their lives actually have that kind of a transitional accent. Number 4, we have The Simpsons. This is actually not played by humans because this is an animated TV series. It's a cartoon series, but it's for adults and it's extremely funny. The Indian character over here is Apu, who runs a convenience store like many Indians across the world do outside India. So it is a very good representation of the Indian community outside India, although this is a show all about the caricature and humor. However, a lot of people took offense to the fact that Apu was actually voiced by a non-Indian. I don't think that's a problem as long as you're convincing, because after all, it's voice acting, and Apu happens to be one of the more saner characters in the show. But I think Apu has been discontinued after all that controversy. I'm not very sure. You still get to see the old episodes where Apu is there. And last but not the least, and I think you know this one, The Big Bang Theory. It's a show about the nerds, the scientists, the PhD holders, the research scholars that we all aspire to be if you're Asians or Indians. So it is a show where we can live vicariously to this one character called Raj Kutrapali, played by Kunal Nair. And it is finally one of those shows where the Indian character actually talks like a normal Indian person and not that hard Indian accent that often people outside India put on to play the Indian character. The show gets most of the cultural things right as well. So I hope you get to enjoy watching that. And those are all my suggestions. Hope you subscribed. I'll see you in the next video.